Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Billy Bones back at it again with the Boneyard Podcast. And today I'm excited to have Scott Herman from WAGMI Games. Scott, what's up? Good morning. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me. Doing all right so far. Doing all right.
Cool. Awesome. I'm your host, Billy Bones, and Seuss, our co host, is down here moderating. He's going to share the links with us for a second. Yeah, great to have you. Very interesting, Wagme Games. I don't know too much about you, so this will be more like a discovery podcast rather than I'm going to grill you on what you've been doing because I've seen a few people coming on and or actually doing a podcast or Twitter Spaces with you, and they're asking you, "What are you doing? What do you take from this and that? How'd the MIT go? How's the openings going? And all that good stuff." So, you want to give us a brief explanation of who you are, what you're doing, and recent events and all that good stuff, real quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to cover, so I'm going to keep it kind of short and to the point.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so we've been building for about 20, 21 months now, pretty much since the start of the bear, which has been great, right? It's not nothing like building in a bear market. But yeah, so we're building a transmedia entertainment franchise, right? That's the end goal for us because we don't want to be just in gaming. We have a really great story. We have original characters, IP, lore, right? So we have our first comic book that we launched last year. All the characters in the game, they have fully fleshed out backstories. And the game takes place in year 3022, and aliens came to Earth to mine the core element called Nephi, which is nickel iron. And there was a battle that ensued. Then there was a treaty in place. And then the treaty got broken, and then all war broke out. And that's where the game is taking place. That's why you're seeing the aliens fight the human. So I won't tell the whole story in case you guys want to go to OpenSea, type in Nephi Wars, Nife. You can read the comic right there. But growing up, I was always into gaming, always into anime, and I just know that to really differentiate yourself from other games in the space, and we're a mobile game. I would say that we're mid-core mobile tower defense strategy, similar gameplay to Clash Royale in terms of, you have three towers on your side, three towers on the other side, and the goal is to drag and drop your characters on the map with a specific strategy to get across, blow up your opponent's towers while defending your own. But I'd say we're as much like Clash Royale as Call of Duty is like Fortnite. And so moving forward with that thought process, what really attracted me to gaming as a kid and the games that I stuck with pretty much my entire life is games that had a really good story or games I like to play with my friends, right? But, there's a reason why we all know Zelda, even if you've never even played the game. There's a reason why everybody knows who Master Chief is, even if they've never played a video game in their life. It's just these iconic characters and these amazing stories that get people excited and want to get involved with these types of ecosystems. And so we've been working really hard to make our characters iconic, gameplay fun, and to really try to tell a story.
Oh yeah, that's what I love. I think I'm a super RPG nerd. So when you talk about narrative driven games and you talk about the story and all that good stuff, that's kind of what I'm into. I'm not a sweaty gamer. I'm not gonna go parade myself around and say I'm gonna go get 20 kills and Call of Duty or anything like that. But I do love a good story. It's like reading a book, like you know what I mean, like. But you interact. You're controlling the characters. You got to go and you know partake in this adventure rather than just reading about it. So yes, Zelda, all that good stuff. So before we talk about like more into like WAGMI and stuff like that, I'd really love to get to know you a little bit more. It's kind of like my spiel a little bit. Like when I interview people, I want to know who you are, and I think it gives other people who watch this later on, or if they're here with us live right now, a little bit more. How do you say? A little get to know you, and to trust you a little bit more. Because with crypto, it's like a lot of people don't want to be doxxed, or they don't know who they are as a person. I could see your collectibles in the background. You relate to you a little bit better. And with building games, it's real cool to see founders like yourself come up and humble yourself to talk to other gamers and come on the podcast like this. So I wanted to ask you, like, what was one of your favorite games growing up? Like, what was your go-to game?
So I have a couple. My older brother liked to play video games, but not as much as me. But there were a few games that he would always play with me for hours and hours and hours, especially on the regular Nintendo, and that was Contra, and then this other game called Jackal. I don't know if you ever played Jackal. It's
Heard of it.
like a side scroller Contra game, but you're in jeeps. Anyways, we would play those games for hours and hours and hours, and then when Nintendo 64 came out, my brother loved race car games, so he would only really play like Cruising USA with me,
Cruising World.
or he would play. Actually, he liked to play Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat 3 was probably one of the best ones that was ever made because that's when they really introduced the combos. You could do like 20, 30 hit combos in a row if you were really good, right?
On N64?
No, yeah, on N64. I'm pretty sure Mortal Kombat 3 was Nintendo 64. If I'm remembering it correctly, because the house we were in at the time, I remember we only had Nintendo 64. San Francisco Rush, another race car game that he would always play with me. But then when I would play by myself, I was more into adventure games, right? So like Donkey Kong Country, beat those games front to back, got every DK coin. Zelda, since I was really little, that was probably one of the first games that I played the most. I still remember my uncle showing me how to like hold the reset button and press power at the same time to save the game properly. Right.
Yeah.
And then, literally going like every cubic inch, every pixel and dropping bombs, trying to find secret pathways like on the beach and burning every bush with the candle, trying to find hidden stairs. Right. Like that's just the kind of gamer that I am. I like to grind. And so Zelda has always been a big part of my life. Every console that's come out, including Game Boy. I love that they just redid the A Link to the Past for Super Nintendo is on the Switch now. So I've been playing that. Well, I already beat that. Now I'm working on Tears of the Kingdom, and I have all the Zelda amiibos too. So there's like 36 of them. I'm a big collector. I collect a lot. I collect a lot of things, but yeah, for me growing up, it was adventure type games. Oh, they're remastering Super Mario RPG as well for the Switch. That was one of my favorite RPGs growing up. Just very fun, interactive game. It can be difficult or easy depending on how you play it and how you level up your characters. But yeah, games I could play with my brother had a special part to me. But then growing up, it was more adventure games. Then, of course, once like Xbox came out and Halo and Call of Duty, that's kind of where it turned, or Unreal Tournament, right? Those fighter type games you started playing with your friends because you could have the 4 people at a time. So that's kind of been my journey in gaming.
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to me because I have an older brother and a younger brother, and we would fight over the Nintendo. My generation is more of Super and Sega, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a couple years younger than yourself, and my
Did you have
brothers.
Sega CD and the 350X as well?
No, we kind of, that's what I was gonna get to. We didn't have. I mean, that was my generation, but we didn't have it. We played the shit out of Nintendo until we got a PlayStation. But my
Oh,
friends,
nice.
yeah, my friends, I would go to their house every day after school because one of them had a Sega, and one of them had a Super. So we would go, and then myself, I had a Game Boy, right? So we would swap cartridges and go to each other's and spend the night and go play Ultimate Mortal Kombat, uh, but I always loved like the Final Fantasy. I think on Game Boy there was a Zelda too. What was it called? I can't think of it. I have it like right here somewhere.
It was
Um,
the first one where you could like shoot bomb arrows if you pressed A and B at the same time. If you
yeah, I
equipped
think
an
so.
arrow and a bomb.
That wasn't the Super one. I don't know.
That was also in the Super Nintendo one, but it was in the Game Boy one too.
Yeah, yeah. So I had that, and
Link's Awakening, maybe it was.
I think so. Yeah, okay, because the Super was linked to the past, right?
I think, yeah. I
Right,
think
right.
so. There's so
It's
many
linked.
Zelda games now, it's hard to keep track of all the
Yeah,
names.
it's Link's Awakening. Yeah, I remember because you got to play all the instruments and stuff to wake him up and whatever. So it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
all
yeah.
just a dream. Yeah, yeah. Now I remember. Yeah. So I have my Game Boy, and my brothers would fight over them. We would just want to play all the time. So when we got older, we kind of like organized a little bit. When like PS2 came out, PlayStation would say, "Okay, we're gonna play the game for an hour and then give it up. Whether you're dead, alive, whatever, your hour's up, your hour's up." And we'd fight over it. So that's why I have a love for handhelds. I've had like Game Boy, PSP, Vita. Like I have a bunch of China devices laying around. Like it, I didn't have to share it. It's just one player.
I
And
have I have 3 younger brothers, like 10 years younger than me, and when I was in college, they were like 10, 11, 12, and I would make them like play Super Smash Bros on Nintendo 64 against all Star Fox level 9s, and then I would make them do like battle royales in Halo with snipers only, and they weren't allowed to zoom in, just to like train them so that when I would come home, I could, battle them and actually have a pretty good match. It kind of backfired though, because they got really good. They got really good at games.
Trained them
I
well.
mean, man, the younger generation are actually really good at games. I am a very sweaty gamers. I played competitively in Overwatch. I locked in over 20,000 hour, I think, in the game. So I played in tier two actually. We almost made it to tier one. Long story short, was like I'm really good at games, you know. I hold any game, I'm really good at it. But nowadays you play with a 15 years old, he would like 360 hit shot you out of nowhere, you know. Their reflex is very very fast
But are they
compared to me.
doing it with
I'm
a
just an
mouse, or are
old
they
ass
doing it
man.
with, a real controller?
Mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody can click the screen with a mouse. Okay, you give that kid an Xbox
Come on, no
controller,
no no
it's
no no no
instant.
no
Be
no
like,
no
oh,
no
I don't know how to
no.
use these things.
Wait. Actually, fun fact, you should know this. Controller players and cell phone players, if you are talking about FPS, have aim assist.
I don't need aim assist. I'm pretty good. I clackety clack. I even got like the extra lung on my Elite controller. Like, I'm
Aim
good to
assist,
go,
okay.
baby.
Uh, with the
Wait a
controller,
minute. Which FPS is your favorite, Scott? Maybe you can get in a match with Seuss one day, because I hear a lot
Well,
of people challenging you on some games. Like I think you were talking to Crypto Hotto the other day or a few weeks ago, and you were talking about Smash. You know, you guys want to play Smash Brothers and stuff. And it's funny because you had mentioned that you'd play with Link and stuff like that. So, what's your favorite FPS? Maybe we can get you guys in a match one day.
I mean, I think my favorite of all time was like Halo Reach. I think that just had the coolest maps and it had the best gameplay. My friends, all they want to play is COD. So like I'm kind of just handcuffed to COD. All they want to do is play Warzone. They don't want to switch to other games. They don't want to play
hmm,
Apex. They don't want to play Fortnite. So I just kind of play COD with them, and I have a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but I think growing up Halo was always like, it was the most fun. Even like the vehicles, the launch pads, before they started bringing in all that extra stuff that I don't think the game needed. We had so much fun playing Halo, like hours and hours and hours of Halo.
I don't think Seuss is a Halo player. Are you, Seuss?
no,
No. Mm. Well, we
no,
have been
man.
playing a lot of Farlight 84. It's a free game that came out. It's kind of a battle royale team. You drop in and last team standing is the winner. We've been doing that every Friday at over at the Catalyst Guild. So if
Oh
you want to
yeah,
if you want to stop by, it gets pretty sweaty and we're all
yeah,
having
man,
drinks
hell
and
yeah.
streaming and having fun, and it's a good time. Been doing it for the past 2-3 weeks now. I've been doing it for like a couple of months, but we moved it over to the Catalyst, and now the Wardens are even talking about joining us, and hopefully we can get maybe a TDM match going on, a Catalyst versus Wardens or something like that. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, if
dude,
you're
you gotta
yeah,
get me in so I can do some practicing.
we got to do it a little bit earlier because I do it 10 p.m. my time, and I'm in the LA area, so I'm West Coast. But
Okay.
a few others were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna stay up till 1 a.m. and play with you guys." I'm like, we got to probably do it earlier. Just I don't want to stream. The kids are screaming in the background and stuff. So, but we can play. I just won't be able to stream. I think someone else could do it. So, but yeah, we got to get you on there one of these days. But
I've been having a lot of fun streaming or playing Big Time. I'm in a few
oh
different
yeah,
guilds for Big Time as well. In fact, I was logging into my metaverse before this call, just seeing if all my all my hourglasses got crafted.
I haven't aped in yet. I don't have the funds right now to ape in, but I want to so bad and go get a space. But I think you can get like some cosmetics for a couple of bucks. So I bought an axe for like $2 or something like that. So,
Oh
but yeah,
yeah.
I think I'm level 26 now. I was playing last night. Who was I playing with? I was playing with some randoms, but yeah, big time grinding the hell out of that game.
Yeah, I've been playing for about a year. I bought a bunch of stuff. I bought a bunch of space, mystery boxes. I pimped out my guy to look exactly how I want him to look. So he has the moniker, the Black Knight, and then I got him the Sir Brenner Black Axe, right? Those are like $1,000 a piece now. It's crazy.
Wow.
When I got them, they weren't 1,000. But I was like, the Black Knight, of course people are gonna want that. Gotta have it. And then you can't be the Black Knight and then have a red axe. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to pony up and get this black axe. I think I spent like $300 on it though.
What class are you?
I always do Time Warrior.
Gotcha.
Any game I play, like when I play Destiny, I'm the Titan. Like I'm just like Leroy Jenkins. Freaking boom.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm dead. Come revive me.
I need a res. Come get me.
Actually, I'll take that back. When I was playing in a few different teams at randoms, and I was saving all their asses as the Time Warrior because they just kept getting smoked. I'd jump in, I'd do my barbarian shout, stun everybody, res them, run away, drop a tree, run back in, shout again, kill. Like I'm on fire, man.
Yeah, right now I'm a Shadow Blade, but I use a double-handed axe, and I don't know
nice.
what multipliers I got on my equipment or what, but every group I get into, even if they're higher levels than me, I was telling this to Missy the other day, I get the most damage and the most kills every fucking time, and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, dude, I chop wood, dude. I just do the heavy hit every time, and I don't do any of the combos or anything, and it's just like AoEs everybody.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm doing better than the Time Warriors. I don't understand how, but I guess I die a lot. I have no defense and low hit points, so I just die all the time. So if there's no healer around, we're screwed. But to move on from gaming and all that good stuff, you want to go on and on about it all day, but we got probably another 30.
Yeah, I guess you wanted people to know about my background.
Oh yeah, no.
I think that's where we left off. Sorry, guys.
I mean, before you start, you seem a very competitive player. Are you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up in Xbox lobbies. That turned you into a man very quickly.
Good man, good. We need to play more with people who's very competitive, because every time I'm playing, I'm the only one who's like sweating, and the rest of the guys, oh yeah, nice kill, man. Oh yeah. I was like, am I the only one who's actually trying so hard to win a game? Are you guys serious? You know?
Oh yeah,
And
dude. Like,
but
if you're not I mean, dude, even on WAGMI Defense on my game, I've been streaming with other creators. Like, I'm ripping them the whole time, getting them to rip me more. I think it's a generation thing too, because our generation, especially mine, I'm 39. Like, you talked shit even if you were losing. Like, and if you lost, there's always a reason why you lost. It's not because your skills or the other person was better. It's because of X, Y, and Z, right?
man, I love talking shit, man. Especially when I'm playing with Billy, man, I love pissing him off, and I was like, you
it's funny.
suck.
Mizzy was saying something. He says, "Why do you choose violence when you're playing with Zeus?" I said, "I don't know. I think I want him to carry me. I don't know what it is, but it gets a little sweaty when we're playing together. I don't know why. We just, it's the friendly rivalry.
I always choose violence. My wife, before they got dumb and they started closing lobbies, and when it was open lobby, my wife would just sit and watch me play because she just loved me talking shit to all these people. Like, they would try to come at me and they call you gay and they go down that hole. I just roll with it, and just make them super uncomfortable. And then this one guy, I won't tell you what I said because I don't want you guys to blush. Very casual, just going back and forth. And then this random dude didn't talk the whole time. He just kind of starts talking. He goes, "My man, you need Jesus in your life." Because the conversation just got so bad, right? He's like, "You need Jesus."
Yeah, I think I remember one time some guy was coming on to another guy, and they did went with it. They were trying to come on to each other harder than the other guy, and I can't go into it obviously, but one guy was coming on hitting on the other guy, and he, normally you would see someone say, "Hey man, back off," but no, that guy went with it, and they were, I don't know, competing for each other's hearts, and it was funny. It was X-rated, and it was funny.
I dropped into a duos Warzone the other day, and the other guy had his music on, and I'm screaming at him like, "Turn your effing music off, you whatever!" And we're yelling at each other, calling each other names, scream. So we end up winning the Warzone drop, and at the end, so I'm like, "So you want to run it back?" He's like, "Yep." And then we did another few drops together. But the interaction started just shit talking, right? But that's the beauty of gaming is it's the competitiveness is in the game. it's like, well, we're both playing the same game, so we're probably gonna get along, but we're gonna talk smack, and that's kind of how you gauge the other person. And so I always love that a part of game. I feel like gaming is one of the last few places where like you can really go after each other and still come out as friends.
I think that's the best part of gaming when you're playing online. You know, you're shit talking somebody, and then next thing you know, you're best friends the next day, and you're like, "Hey, where you at, bro? You're gonna play
Yeah,
today?"
yeah,
Have you
exactly.
guys ever enter a fist fight with your friend because of a game?
Um,
My brothers.
I haven't. Mostly because my friends know I'd probably just choke them
Do
out.
you remember back in our days when PlayStation, I think 2 was like a thing, and there was there is like a lot of gaming centers where there is like PlayStation and you can play Street Fighter or FIFA, and that's set up, of gaming centers. So back in the days, uh, we used to play FIFA, and it gets very competitive between me and my friend who's sitting behind me after he's scoring, that we actually end up punching each other because we pisses each other off. So that's how serious we are in about when it's come to gaming, to be honest. But yeah, uh, it was always like this, especially in my country in Middle East. When you are playing games, even like when you are playing football, like a real in real life sports and stuff like this, it get very competitive between friends. I remember fighting with my friends all the time when I'm playing games, with my brother as well, especially if he's older than you, and you shit on him and then you start pissing him off, and he was like, "Ah." So that's what I used to get from my cousins and my brother, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it's fun. I like it in this way. I like it extreme, to be honest. This is how I like to play the game.
Hey man, it's always fun to play with family though. I have a
It is.
cousin
It
who's
is.
blind, and we would play Super Nintendo Turtles in Time. And even though he was blind, like most of the time he was attacking nothing, but like he knew to, it's a side scrolling game. So I'm like, go right, go right, go right. And so we would
Yeah.
play and he could hear the sounds and he would have so much fun, even though he couldn't see. There was actually a few times he beat me in Street Fighter. He just button smashing. Like, and sometimes you win. Sometimes you win when you button smash.
Yeah.
Just let me know what side I'm on, bro. Kick your ass.
Yeah.
so, so to get a little bit to know you a little bit more better. Don't quote me on that. On your day off, what do you do? What does Scott do on his day off? If you're not, I know you're working all the time and Web3 and WAGMI and all that stuff. You got your plate full. What does Scott do on his day off? You got a day off. What are you doing all day?
So my day off, aside from probably gaming at night with the boys, I like to do stuff around the house. I like working on cars. I have a car that fifth gen Camaro that I just rebuilt last December. That I spend a lot of time with. I mean, don't get me wrong, I spend time with my wife and daughter too. I like I like to get out of the house because I spend so much time in the house. So if I'm like going out for a drive, I live in Florida, so we'll go to like Universal and have some fun there. Or my wife likes going to the mall, so I'll take her there. She can go to all her shops and stuff. But I spend so much time here, and work is basically interacting with my friends, right? So I get all my friend time and work time in one spot. So when I'm not working, I have a day off. I like to go, clean up around the house. I like to work on projects where I can build things, work on my car, or, family and I will go out and just have some fun.
Can you please give a message to all the wives and girlfriends watching right now that our job is to play video games, like, at least partially?
Hey, yeah, I mean that's one of the coolest things about being a founder in the space is, when Web3 finally takes off and we're doing, Comic Cons and gaming tournaments, hopefully one day an esports type thing, right? I mean, it's no longer work. It's literally just doing what you love every single day, which is how it's been for me on the fitness side of things. For those of you who don't know me, I have a YouTube channel called Scott Herman Fitness with like 3 million subscribers, 652 million views across all my videos. And that was a big part of my life and still is. So that was always just like doing what I love every single day.
Yo, drop that link. I'll share it on this little QR code.
Scott,
Yeah.
I
man,
didn't even know. I
I
saw
I will
WAGMI
tell you
Games.
thing. I will tell you one thing. I since you joined, I keep saying I saw this dude somewhere. His face is familiar. I wanted to get fit. I think uh, something I really want to do, but I'm lazy to do. But I remember joining, searching in some of the fitness YouTube channels, and I was like scrolling there. So I really think I saw your channel before. I'm not sure, but I think so. But that's
Probably.
great.
I
I
mean,
think so.
my
I think
my
so.
how my how-to videos. I was the first person to really do fitness on YouTube consistently back in 2009. And so my how-to videos for every exercise in the gym are embedded in websites and apps literally all over the world. I mean, I'll have calls with people in Singapore and they'll be like, "Hey dude, you taught me how to bench press in college." So it's actually been very helpful on the Web3 side of things because people they know who I am and they've seen that I've been around for a while. I've never done anything scammy, right? And so there's already a layer of trust that's built there that I can work upon when I meet new people.
That's a good point because you're out there in the public eye. Everyone knows who you are, or will you can
Yeah.
reference them back to that. Hey, I've been doing this for years. Like I'm not coming out of the woodworks and trying to do a pump and dump little thing. So if anyone watching live or watching later on, there's a little link up here. You see Scott's YouTube channel, and he's got. What do you do? You just do fitness vids and stuff, tutorials and all that good stuff. Tell us a little bit about your channels. And you got a couple, right?
Yeah, so on my fitness channel, mainly there's a lot of tutorials, how to build muscle. I do some stuff where I'll cover news. The last video I did, I was talking about how it's titled "The Kids Aren't All Right and They're Getting Worse," because I'm like in my gym training and these like 17-year-old kids are talking about the gear they're cycling. I'm like, you guys are not even adults yet, and you're already taking steroids and Anavar and like it's an interesting video, and I talk a lot about how, um, when you're always looking for shortcuts, especially at that young age, how it impacts the rest of your life. It's like when you're in your teens, from like 13 to 18 to 19, that's kind of like a defining moment in your life. And if you're not used to putting the work in then when you have the time, how are you going to survive when you get older? Like you have to build these values, and the gym for me was one of the places where I worked the hardest because I was working there and then training every single day and staying natural young. Obviously, doesn't mess with your body, but also number two, when you're natural, it's a lot harder to build muscle and be consistent, and every ounce you gain is like a achievement. And so grinding through my teenage years, training, working, going to school full time, I feel like really established a foundation, that the never give up attitude that I have even now. And even build, like literally building in the bear is like getting kicked in the balls every day when you wake up, and then right before bed, one more, kick to the teeth just to remind you you're building in the bear, and you got to wake up tomorrow and do it all over again. And I'm sure, it gets tough, and it's easy to lose motivation. But
Yeah.
again, my foundation growing up has always been like, I don't take shortcuts. I work my friggin' balls off and I get shit done. And I understand the risks, but I don't let them like deter me from my goal. And so I talk about that in that video. And then I have another channel. Haven't been posting on as much because I've been busy building the WAGMI Games YouTube channel, but I have a gaming channel where I stream like Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. It's a mobile game on the phone. Has like 60,000 subscribers. That was a lot of fun. I still play the game every day. I haven't been streaming it as much, but and that's why I'm so happy that we're doing a mobile game. And so one of the things that got me into Web3 gaming specifically is, I would be streaming my Dokkan Battle game, and the videos that get a lot of views are the ones where you're summoning for new characters. And so I would be summoning for new characters on these banners, and I would get duplicates of like all these like hard to get characters that I just don't need because I play so much, right? And I'm a whale and I was spending all this money. And it bothered me that I couldn't just give those characters away to the people who watch my streams and tune into my videos, every single day when I was doing it full time. And so once I understood NFT technology, and I was like, oh, you can actually give away assets from the game that your subscribers are interested in playing, and that's why they watch you. That's a game changer right there. And that's what we've been doing on the live streams that we've been hosting. We're doing I'm trying to do them every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Some of my other creators are doing different time slots. I'm going to open up some more time slots too, but we play for an hour, and then throughout that hour, I give away characters, different variants of characters during that stream, because that's why you're there. You're there because you want to play the game, you love it. And if there's a chance you can win, a legendary variant of a character just from being there and having fun, that's friggin' cool, right?
Mm.
It is. I think any game you want skins, and skins are popular, and we're always saying, "Oh, this CS:GO skin sold for 40K." Da 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 da. So like, why doesn't it make sense for Web3 to utilize it and make it better? It's on chain, and you can trade. I don't want to be that echo chamber and say the same thing over and over and say this is why Web3 needs to be here, but it is kind of true, and it's kind of how I got into Twitch actually. Like, what, I don't remember when, 2019. I wanted to learn how to play Gods Unchained, which is also on IMX. I'm sure you've heard of it. And I would just watch them to just learn. I'm not a TCG person. I'm not at all. I like the lore, I like the R and all that good stuff, but uh, I, Money's in the audience, and he got me into Parallel recently, and it's really hard to grasp. And when they're always updating it, they're always updating the meta always it's always changing. So you're sitting there and you're playing the game, and then like, okay, this OP card is not OP anymore. They straight nerfed it, and it's worth hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. Now it's not worth anything. It kind of messes with your money a little bit. You have to work on. I think one of the hardest things with game dev, and I'm not a game dev, but if I were on that side of it, I would say to balance out this game to make everyone happy, you're not going to make everyone happy. I think it's impossible. Some people say, hey, this is OP, this needs to be nerfed. And when that happens, a lot of people might get mad, or it's your investment. Maybe that card was worth $1,000. Now it's worth $300 and you aped in. So it's just another layer on top of the game that just makes it a little more difficult to deal with. So, yeah, I got into watching Twitch and to learn how to play the game, and I won some cards. I saw some streamers and some people that are great at the game that win. The weekend ranks for Gods Unchained, I think, was 20 games a weekend, right? And I think they're still doing it. And I think they even have a daily thing going on. But, it was real hard to get into Mythic and stay in Mythic and then get like 15 out of 20 wins. So I was watching these guys, so I don't have to, spend thousands of dollars on a deck, because I don't have $1,000 to spend on the deck. And like I said, if you spend $1,000 on your deck, and then next thing you know, there's going to be an update and the meta changes, and you got a full-time job, you can't be in Discord and on Twitter and all their Medium posts and updates, and you can't follow. And if you don't follow, you're going to get wrecked. And literally, like, a lot of people just said, you know what, hey, fuck this game, I'm out. Literally, I lost thousands of dollars, and because they changed it up, and I can't follow because I have a wife, kids, a full-time job. Like, I can't sit here all day long and play this game. So I could see why.
And especially as they add more and more cards. I mean, Magic the Gathering has like 50,000 cards.
Oh yeah.
Right? Good luck building the best deck and doing the research.
The expansions. That's what I didn't like when I don't remember the name of the expansion that Gods Unchained did, but after the token dropped and everything, everyone's playing it now, and then they dropped another expansion, and I didn't like it. It wasn't, they of course were, it's not set in stone yet until they test a whole lot and especially get feedback from everybody. But I couldn't do it. I'm gonna lose money. I didn't lose money because I bought it in early before the tokens dropped, and I didn't even know there was gonna be a token. I didn't know IMX and God's token was gonna drop, and I was playing it, and I probably dropped a couple $100. And then next thing you know, I had like $2,000 worth of cards. I was like, oh shit. So I love it. And I'm playing the weekend ranked, and I'm, earning, probably like $15-20 on the weekend. But, it was just all fun, And then next thing you know, like if I go look at it right now, I don't even remember what the website's called. But if I go look at it right now, I probably have like $300-400 worth of cards, which is like my base, like what I paid in the beginning. But the people who bought it at the top, I don't think they're going back.
I don't think your card is worth that much anymore. I bought a lot of expensive card in God Unchained, especially the whiteboard card. The whiteboard card was very expensive back then in God Unchained, and I had multiple of them.
Wild Boar. Yeah.
Y-
That's a good card.
Yeah, but to be fair, God and Jen, it was a very competitive, nice game. I did not want to play it at the start. My friend pushed me so hard to play it. I tried it. I liked it, and to be fair, I made a good amount of money from God and Jen. I made a couple hundred, but again, I wanted to get my God's token out, and so I had to pay it. Back then the gas fee was like 75 or $80, man, and
Yeah,
there is like
IMAX.
two fee transaction that you have to pay to get your token out. So my 400, I think, back then was like 150 after I took it out. And back then the SOS token dropped, so I just bought SOS token with $150, and after 2 days I sold them with like $1,600 profit, from the $150 I get from God and Chain. So that's a good money, and I spend a good amount on cards, to be honest, in IMX. But hey, man, speaking of IMX, many people do see IMX is gonna be the next Gala game thing, or it's gonna compete really hard with Gala game. Um, you are building on IMX, right? So
Yeah, so we're actually one of the founding partners with IMX. We've been building there for the last 2 years, and we're going to be the first game to implement the passport on mobile. And what that's going to allow us to do is really make the onboarding process super easy. Players are going to be able to just log in with their email and then a custodial wallet set up for them.
mhm,
They're going to be able to exchange assets in between games eventually, right? Like that's the idea. And then as they continue to roll out more features of Passport, what we're going to be able to do is, I think, I'm pretty sure, speaking with our CTO, eventually we'll be able to have the entire secondary market just in the game as a feature versus having to, go to the Passport app to buy, sell, and trade cards, which
yeah,
is going to be really useful because we need to keep the gaming experience as normal as possible so that when a new player comes in that's not familiar with Web3, they're just seeing another game where they can go, they can build their deck, they can buy different cards, they can trade with their friends. I'm really big into clans, especially in mobile games and having a friends list. It's going to be so cool to be able to just trade cards back and forth, right? Hey, I need this card, you need that card. Because in our game, we have a rarity system where as you're playing, and we're a free to play game, if you collect 5 common copies of a specific card, let's say the Alien Emperor, if you collect 5 commons, you can actually burn them in game to create a rare. In the game, it's just a feature. It's just like an upgrade feature to increase the rarity of the card. And so if you collect 5 rares, you can make an epic, and then 5 epics make a legendary. And the difference between a common and a legendary is like a 5% buff to the character stats, which isn't enough to like give you this massive edge on the competition. I
mhm,
mean, you can have the same level cards common and attack somebody with the same exact deck that has legendary. And if you have a better strategy, you will win, right? But it's enough of a buff where people like myself who like to grind and like to collect everything are going to be like, well, I want that extra 5%. I need that extra 5%. So I'm going to do it. And it creates excitement. And plus, like the legendary cards look really cool and they have different graphics. So it's also the flex before a match starts. So before a match starts, I can see your deck and you can see mine. And if mine's all gold because I have all legendaries, you're going to be like, oh shit, this guy's either really good or he just went on the secondary market and bought all these, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
It's
I
kind of like,
remember
wait,
watching. Go
what?
ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, even like when you're playing like Warzone, when you roll up on somebody that has the latest skin, you kind of automatically assume, all right, this guy's a sweat, and I'm gonna have to probably play a little better, right? You don't assume he sucks because he's spending money in game, and
mhm.
so that's what I think is cool about Web3 games is now you really don't know because they could have grinded and got those cards, or they could have just bought them, right? Who are you battling, a grinder or just somebody who wants to look like they grind?
Exactly. That's what we're watching Gods Unchained, and someone has an all gold deck. They're playing the same deck, and it's like the death versus death, and they have all the same cards. They're running the same, we're both playing OTK or something like that, and then they have all the same cards. That, yeah, I know exactly what deck he's playing, but
Mhm.
mine's gold, and this is I'm watching the streamer, mine's
Yeah.
gold, we're crafting cards, and you know. But yeah, you never know whether someone bought a secondary, someone grinded for those. But
Well,
um,
what's also really important too, and I think we've solved this problem pretty well in our game. Like, you can't have characters that aren't available to everyone season to season. It's just going to be impossible to balance a game, especially a game like ours. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to have seasons. So, like, a season's 3 months or so, right? And it'll be the same characters season one, season two. It's just that you won't be able to level up the rarity of the card with a season two cards. Like, if you have 3 season one Alien Emperors and 2 season twos, it doesn't work. You have to level up the season two to increase the rarity of it, right? Does that make sense? But it's still the same character. So what it does is people who are playing, it's going to make them want to log in more often to open their war chests and grind to create as many legendaries as they can for the season. Because once the season's over, now those cards are probably going to have value. So let's say season 2 starts and you were trying to make a legendary Alien Emperor, but you only got 4 epics, and then the season ends. Well, now you're probably going to have to go buy an epic off the secondary market. So who's to say which cards will even be worth the most? It comes down to what the player needs in order to level up their characters in their deck. But if you have a level 10, Alien Emperor from season 1 and I have a level 10 Alien Emperor from season 2, it's the same card that you play, same character, same fighting style in the game. It's just that I have a season 2 and you have a season 1. Does that make sense?
yeah, I've seen a couple of games like that, and then like we spoke about a while ago, it was big time. If you
Yeah.
look at it, it says just to enter into some of the portals, you need a preseason NFT. So if you don't got that now, maybe they're going to offer better rewards for those portals later on. So yeah, I can see that making sense. The same thing with Mini Royale. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but they have seasons, and some of them are like worth a few $100s, and it looks like shit. I mean, it's the beginning. They didn't pay a whole lot of money for art, and then they got big and they raised maybe, and then they made better art later on. And obviously, the newer seasons look 10 times better, but that is the original, pre-season or whatever NFTs, and maybe they have better rewards, or I don't know what it is. I think it's got to be better rewards, when you play in the game. If you need to have the preseason in order to play in this tournament, it becomes
you
rare.
can do stuff like that too. Yeah, for beta cards only, right? Yeah, we're gonna do stuff like that moving forward. It just creates fun and it creates nostalgia. Plus, like, it's one of those things, like you just said, like maybe 2 years from now, our cards look amazing, but you're like, well, I kind of want the shitty one because it shows them an OG and it's a
Right.
flex.
Yeah, to
Right.
flex. Yeah.
And when I say shitty, you know what I mean. Our cards aren't shitty, but just like
yeah.
I want the basic version.
It evolves. Everything evolves. Like, look at Pokemon. Remember the old Pikachu? How it used to be all fat and it just sat there and it just looked dumb.
Yeah.
And then you look at a Pikachu these days, like it's completely evolved. Like,
It's like,
he's OP
like,
from the beginning, and then he's still OP now. But he just looks like an actual mouse. So I think he's supposed to be a mouse, right? So,
dude, he's like a mouse bunny. I mean,
bunny mouse, electric bunny mouse.
it's just funny how he just never gets evolved. He's like, no, I'm gonna stay this little yellow thing and just be OP as hell. It's kind of like the Z, like in Dragon Ball Z, just like getting the base form stronger so that when you do transform, you're even more powerful, right? Same thing.
Yeah. 10 times gravity or 1,000 times gravity training and stuff like that. But talking about rarity.
Sorry, Billy, to cut you, but we need to
Go ahead.
answer Mr. Ali a question that he want to test.
I think
the
we said something in the beginning, or maybe it was before we went live. But if anyone wants to play your game, yeah. Before we go forward, if we want to play your game, so somebody who doesn't have an NFT that wants to try it, they can try it, right?
Oh yeah, you don't have to have any crypto knowledge or NFTs to play our game. We're a free to play game. So just DM me on Twitter, Scott_Herman, and then I'll get you into the beta.
And by the way, guys, Scott Herman on Twitter is in the top left or at the right side of Billy's screen. You can scan this QR code and it will take you to Scott Twitter. We will be
while you're
dropping
there,
as
you
well.
can watch a fun video pinned to the top.
Okay, we can do that. Actually, we can watch it now if you want. But make sure to follow Scott, guys. And Follow WAGMI game in Linktree. This is all the links. The font, I don't know why the font is like this. The font is because of the Halloween thing. So yeah, enjoy the font, I guess, if you guys like the font. But yeah, follow him, DM him. You can try the game out if you want to try the game. If you guys not tried the Gala game before, it's gonna be a fun experience. I guess, I like Gala games, to be honest. I do like them. And I think they drop pretty good quality games. So I'm really, bullish on games going there. I mean, I think we had very good games on Gala in terms of in general in games that launch on. I mean, um, not Gala games. Okay, it's hitting me, guys. It's 1 a.m. But yeah, in general, go and try, guys. Sorry, Abi, it's 1 a.m. here. I got carried out a bit with that. But yeah, Billy, go ahead.
Is this on your? It's on yours, right? It's
Yeah, it's
not
on
on.
mine. Yeah,
Let me see.
that's our founders pack mint right there. It's actually pretty cool. We partnered with OpenSea to do a very special collection of the cards. So every pack contains all 32 in-game cards with your chance of getting legendary variants. You can get anywhere from 1 to all 32 cards being legendary. In fact, somebody finally opened a pack that had all 32 legendaries like yesterday.
In
Lucky
one
bastard.
pack?
Yeah, yep. Yeah,
No
so we
way.
tried to bring back that nostalgia of opening packs and the excitement that comes with what am I gonna get? So a lot of people bought a few packs and they're like, oh, I'm only gonna open one, and then like 5 minutes goes by and all the packs are open, and they're just like, damn it, I wanted the save one because it burns off OpenSea. As soon as you open the pack, it burns off OpenSea. It's gone forever. So some people want to save like at least one pack to speculate like, hey, maybe this pack unopened is going to be worth something in the future. But then they just burn through all their packs trying to collect all the legendaries. The FOMO is real.
Well, yeah, everyone wants to do that, of course, and hoping that not a lot of people are pulling legendaries and they can sell it later on. You never know. But yeah,
Yep,
let,
yep.
let me let me go to yours. Here's your paint. Oh, there we go. Let me see. So let me know if you can hear this. I'm gonna.
Ownership.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna own talking smack about me
Oops.
yesterday?
Sorry, guys. Let's start that over. My bad. Trying to make it full screen. There we go.
There's a lot of cool stuff that you guys talked about. You talked a lot about ownership. Are you guys gonna own talking smack about me yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Yes, of
And
course.
what did you say?
Well, we were under the impression that you only talked to projects that paid $75K to come to the table.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G.
Snoop Dogg.
You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E.
That is
That was
awesome.
Yes, that was on the next Crypto Gem, the world's first reality TV show about crypto. That was that was the grand finale. So we made it to the final episode and decided that we were going to maintain our integrity, and if the space's biggest pump and dump scammer was going to call us out, we were going to answer the call. Unfortunately, that was probably why we didn't win first place. But you know what? I think the real winner is not getting the vote of approval from somebody who's attached their name to so many projects that have rugged. So,
Where's that guy at now?
I don't even know. Not at his own channel, that's for sure. What's funny is that was filmed in March too.
Yeah, that I don't want to go into that, but that's funny. But I love that clip. So let's go into WAGMI now. We've been here for nearly an hour, so I want to go into WAGMI, and you're gonna have to educate me. You kind of gave me the rundown earlier, but what I want to ask about the game is who's building the game? How big's your team? What experience do you guys have? Tell me all the good stuff about who's building your game or games.
Yeah, so we have about, let's say, 8 people on our core team. We worked with Cubics at the very beginning to build the initial beta, which is great. We're now working with Tech Round and Room 8 Studios for the soft launch that should be coming in about a month or so. And what you're going to see in soft launch is a complete revamp of the user interface. So I think the game looks great now. Our community loves it. Our day 1, day 2 retention's like 40%, day 7's like 27%. It's really high. But we're always trying to improve. And so if you take a look at the founders packs, we actually redid our 12 main hero characters. So the 6 aliens and the 6 humans. And we're going to start bringing those characters into the game to replace the originals that are already there. Again, talking about nostalgia, right? So eventually you'll be like, this is like the first character we're dropping in, I believe, is Leviathan. And so right now, Leviathan's original design is in the game. Well, when his new design comes out, all of a sudden, hey, well, I want the original design because of nostalgic OG reasons, which is going to be pretty cool. And then we were working on, this was funny yesterday. So we're working on our second character. So we're modeling Melkros right now. And I'm talking to the 3D modeling person. And I'm like sending her different photos of anime boobs. I'm like, can you make her look more like this? Like, and I was fixing the entire body because the proportions were off, but it just, when I got to the torso, I was like, okay, how do I have this conversation on how I want things to look? So it was pretty funny yesterday. I was telling my wife about it. She was laughing, but, always working towards, improving the gameplay. The new user interface was actually done by the guy who was the principal experience designer at EA. We have a lot of talent on our team from guys that have worked in the gaming industry for 25 years. In fact, our chief operating officer, his name is Brent Pease. He was the general manager, director of operations at EA. He co-founded Industrial Toys with Alex Seropian, who was the co-founder of Halo and Bungie. So Brent is on our team as a COO. When he joined the team, opened up his Rolodex. That's how we got Roommate Studios. That's how we got Tech Round. That's how we worked with GadgetBot to recreate our 12 main hero characters. So GadgetBot, you might not know who they are, but they're one of the world's leading AAA graphics studios. They do Transformers 4, Jurassic World, Alita Battle Angel, Pacific Rim, Call of Duty Black Ops, Apex Legends, Borderlands 2. So not everybody gets to work with these guys, but they worked with us and redid our characters, which was really cool. And those are the new characters you're going to see coming into the game. Esteban Gil is our senior product manager. So he helped build out the in-game economy for Apex Legends Mobile, Garena Free Fire, and he's doing our in-game economy along with his team. So we have a lot of knowledge and experience on our team that understands not only how to build a game to be successful, but also how to launch it into a market. And I think that that's what's missing a lot in Web3. You have a lot of great guys, a lot of great people building games in Web3, but what's your go-to-market strategy to ensure success, especially in the mobile realm? Like, you can't just make a game and just be like, here you go, play it, right? You have to launch it in layers. That's why we're in our closed beta right now. When we go to soft launch, we're still not going to be globally launched. We're going to soft launch in specific countries to determine our KPIs, to make sure microtransactions work, to try to break the game, right? There is a way to do it, and that's what these guys bring to the team, among many, many other things. So core team, a lot of great talent. In fact, we're making an announcement today, so you heard it here first. We just onboarded a new advisor. His name is Eddie Del Castillo, and he was one of the founders of Liquid Entertainment and one of the visionaries behind Command and Conquer. So he's on the team, been working with us for about a month or so, helping us add more layers to the characters and the gameplay. So, like, to make a game fun, you don't have to always be adding more stuff. In fact, sometimes that makes it not fun because there's too much to do. Adding more layers to the characters that, you can make different strategies as you're building your team, or, adding more layers to the map. When I say layers, I mean, like, right now, the towers, when you across the bridge, the towers shoot you. Well, what if in some maps the range was longer or the range was shorter? Or what if in some maps when you blow up the tower, a second effect happens where, it does a melee, like, flamethrower attack or something? Like, there's all these different things you can do, or maybe halfway through the match, the bridges start to move, right? So that it's not just a set path every time. There's so many things that you can do with what you already have, and guys that know how to make that happen.
Yeah, that's a pretty stacked team. I was looking at your guys' website, and I was just reading that laundry list of talent you guys got behind WAGMI, and I was just wanted to kind of inquire about that. So you guys got a stacked team. How
Oh,
much
yeah,
money do you guys got? I think for people who are, I mean, not from a gamer's perspective, but more from a speculator perspective, a lot of people like to ask this question: is how much money do you guys got? How much did you raise? What's your runway? All that good stuff, money wise.
yeah, so we're doing really great. We've been raising since we started. We've raised, I think, about 2.5 million between our founders packs, our Genesis NFTs, token tax, and comics. We are doing a round. We're probably we're the only gaming token in the top 35 that's not VC funded. We're bootstrapped. We have angel investors that have come in. We have plenty of runway to make it to soft launch and on our way to global launch. So we're not worried there, but we are doing a raise right now.
Interesting. That's good. So we talked about all that good stuff. So I wanted to talk about IMX. So you've been working with them. We went into that a little bit, but in the future, I'm pretty sure you guys have with IMX, from my understanding, an exclusivity for a year or so. After that, gaming, I believe, should be multi-chain. You should be able to choose which chain you want to use. And I understand when you launch, there is that exclusivity. Do you plan to go like multi-chain later on? Which chains are you looking at? Are you talking to them now? What's your thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
so the way we see it, what's going to end up happening is everyone's going to have to work together, especially if you want mass adoption, right? Like you need to be able to go from one chain to another chain to another chain. And that technology is basically what's being built right now. I mean, even the magic login system that we're using now didn't exist until we innovated and made it work for how we wanted it to work, for people to be able to just log in with their email and have a custodial wallet claimed and then be able to play the game without having to know anything about crypto. So I think what's going to happen is eventually all these systems are going to talk to each other. But yeah, I mean, like Coinbase has Base, right? That they're launching. So we want to make sure we can integrate with them as well. In fact, I've already had some conversations with them to learn more about Base and how we can integrate it. But yeah, moving forward into the future, you have to be flexible and you have to innovate and you have to be able to talk to these other networks.
Yeah. So we're heavily involved with the Near Protocol. Have you heard of them?
No, what's Near Protocol?
So Near Protocol is pretty nascent right now. They just launched probably a couple of years ago, and it's really good for a ton of transactions. And they proved this last year at NearCon. NearCon is actually around the corner, and what is it, November 15th, Zeus? Do you know? Something like that, mid-November, and it's in Lisbon, Portugal. And
Yeah.
yeah, November 15th, right? So they've proven how many, like hundreds of thousands of transactions or something like that. And the founder was there, and he was, about to, sweating bullets when they were testing this out, and it was successful. And it's perfect for gaming. It's just nascent right now. And I'm not sure who's going to be releasing games anytime soon. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff under wraps, but if you wanted to, I can connect you with the BD team and you guys can talk about it. I can't really pitch it myself. I'm not BD. I'm just some guy on YouTube that has two people watching. So I'll hook you guys up and connect you guys and be that plug later on if you're interested. I'm pretty sure you want to integrate as many as you can. So
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's basically my role as a co-founder. The VP of strategic partnerships is my cool name. But yeah, I mean, I will literally talk to anyone and everyone in the space. In fact, that's a quality that stuck with me, especially from my early YouTube years. And I think that's why I was one of the few people to do it for 13 years, is because I don't care how many followers somebody has. I don't care about any of that stuff. All I care about is the person and their integrity, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to build, because you never know what the future holds. You just don't. You don't know what connections you're going to make from talking to people. Not that you should seek these things out as an opportunist. The point of that story is you just never know what's going to happen in the future. So you got to always be willing to keep yourself open, talk to good people, build friendships, build relationships.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the couple people that I've spoken to, that's not on Near, because I'm mainly focused on Near. They've never heard of it as well, and they get on a call with the BD team, and I have to follow up on that and see what happened there. But it's just pretty early, and if you got an exclusivity deal with someone else, it doesn't hurt to look around. So we'll talk after this offline, and um. So let's talk about you guys' comic books. Did we talk about comic books yet? You
No,
got
we
one
did
out?
not.
Oh, and then you said there was some utility, right? In game.
Yes.
Want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so we originally launched the comic books on GameStop's marketplace. We actually did a collaboration with them. It was really cool. But we have since moved the comics from the L2 network there to OpenSea L1, just for ease of being able to trade. And now with the passport coming out, as long as you have that comic on the wallet that's connected to your passport, you can still recognize it as an asset, right, inside of that network. And so part of the utility for the comics was if you owned the NFT, and I think they're about like $89, right? If you own the NFT, you get a physical copy, which everyone got their physical copies a couple weeks ago. They were super pumped. And then secondly, if you have the comic in your wallet that you're using to play the game, once we globally launch, every month you're going to get a comic exclusive war chest that you can open for every comic that you have. And so that war chest is going to contain a bunch of in-game items, but it's also going to contain comic book variant art of the characters. So the only way you'll be able to get those is from opening these war chests or buying them on the secondary market. And so that's going to get, I think that alone is going to get people really excited, because we've already seen the excitement with just the free to play cards in the game and people trying to buy, sell, and trade with each other to create the different variants, the rares, epics, and legendaries. But if you go to OpenSea right now and type in NIFE Wars, NIFE Wars, you can click any NFT and read the story. And we were actually one of the first NFTs to really utilize this technology to be able to open the NFT on OpenSea and read the comic right there, because we don't want to bar anybody from the story. But then again, you ask yourself, well, if I can read it for free, why would I buy it? Well, it's because of the utility. It's because of the physical copy and the in-game war chest. Getting a war chest every month for as long as you hold that comic is a pretty big deal, especially if you're trying to collect specific variants. Right now, there's 32 cards in the game. So if each war chest even only has like 3, right? It's still a 1 in 12 chance of you getting the one that you wanted. So might have to wait till the next month, might have to trade or pick up a few more comics. You get more war chests.
Speaking of physical items, are any of your NFTs going to be physical later on? Because I would love it if, especially like trading card games and stuff, like maybe you guys would want to do that because you're already doing the comics.
So I eventually want to do trading cards once we have the ecosystem fleshed out a bit more with the story. But we are going to be doing a raffle soon for these. These are 3D printed human emperors, and they're actually numbered as well. There we go. They 3D print in full color. Come on, there we go. Pretty cool. And on the bottom there, mine says 0 of 1,000 because this is the prototype. But we're going to be doing a raffle for people who bought our Founders Pack, and you're going to get a token called a CAD token, which is the NFT version of the character, where essentially you can take that token to the website. We worked with a company called 3D Houdini, and then you can cash it in to print and get a human emperor mailed to you. And then you can keep the NFT and the physical copy almost as a set. So
Yeah.
we're already looking into doing fun things like that, which I think drive a lot of excitement, being a collector myself. And I know a lot of people in our community, because I did post a photo of this, who've seen it, that are like hitting me up every day, like, "Hey, when are you guys doing the raffle?" And I keep sending them the memes that say soon.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I would love it to have something physical and digital, and I think it goes to kind of going back to being a collector, right? You know, like I love to collect some physical cards. I have a small Game Boy card collection, and then I go and download the ROMs. I don't even dump it. I just go and download them off the internet because I have the physical copies. You know what I mean? I love the fact that I can throw them in the closet, let them collect dust for however many years I want to, and I could still play the game. So I think with the NFTs and skins and stuff like that, if I can sit there and play it on my PC or my mobile phone, and then I have this little, character, physical form of it, the same exact, and it says number so and so and so. I can sit there and I can enjoy the action figure, and then I can enjoy also, the game as well. So I think it makes sense for the collectability of things, and would love to see more physical items of NFTs, especially
Physicals,
gaming.
man. I mean, that we've been living in that world for so long.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be. Is you want to have the physicals.
I think it's another flex, just like when we're going back to talking about having the gold inside the games and stuff like that. You can show I can see your background. You have a bunch of collectibles around, and so let's just say in the future, those are all going to be NFTs. You know what I mean? Maybe the next gen will come up and say, be on a podcast or streaming live, and all their backgrounds is their collectibles, and then they have the digital form as well. In like right now we only have physical forms, and then we're kind of transitioning to a digital age, right?
Well, and it can also work the reverse way where, maybe I buy a Funko Pop and then inside the box is a barcode, right? That gives me the digital for the game
Right.
versus just having the digital, then getting the physical. So there's all this back and forth that can happen. Just as it all comes down to what your imagination is, especially
Right.
as a creator. And being a collector myself, and you loving to collect, there's a lot of ideas that I'm sure you've had. I know there's a lot of ideas that I've had to have the IP interact with the game in ways that just didn't exist before because there were no NFTs.
The tech wasn't there, right? So when you're talking about the raffle, is it for people who minted or people who are holding the packs?
Yeah, anybody who mints a founder's pack, we're basically going to do a snapshot, and then we're going to raffle off, and there's going to be only there's 3,000 packs. We're halfway minted through the founder's packs right now. And so there's only ever going to be 1,000 of these, which is why they're numbered. But mine's cooler because it says 0 of 1,000.
So there's 1,001.
1,001. Yes, exactly.
Jake,
This is going to be the Boba Fett of the WAGMI Games collection.
The clones. So I like to play this game with everybody that comes on. We're calling it Pump, Dump, and Hodl. So since you're a collector, I'm pretty sure you got a bunch of NFTs laying around in a ton of wallets. Who are you pumping? Who are you dumping? Who are you dumping and who are you hodling?
So, man, I mean, NFTs that I've had to dump. There's this one collection that I thought was really cool. I mean, I'll never sell them just because why would I, right? But they definitely aren't worth anything. And it was like the psychedelic apes. Did you see those when those came out?
Mm-hmm.
And I got a really cool one that had like the Marty McFly jacket and the old school Nintendo 64 controller glasses. And they were really cool. But it just went nowhere. So they're kind of worthless, but they're worth something to me. I bought 3 of them. And then one that I'm holding aside from my own is I bought these cards for another card trading game called Shirio. Have you seen those?
Can't say that I have.
Let me pull it up real quick. Is it Shirio Inu? Did they remove the Inu? This was like during the bull market. They're a card playing game. Yeah, just Shirio official. Here, I'll put this one in here. I bought a ton of their packs because I thought that their game board was really unique, where it wasn't just like the regular board like you see with like Gods Unchained and all these other games. They have like different elements and land and all these different ways to interact with the cards for extra power-ups and things. But yeah, just a very beautifully built card game that I was really wanting to try. I haven't caught up with them in a while, Part of being a dev and building your own game is you don't really get to keep up with what everybody else is doing. But I have a ton of these cards and a ton of really rare ones, so I'm just kind of anxious to give it a try once they're ready. And then obviously the collection I'm going to pump is, the WAGMI games collection, because why wouldn't I?
Okay, you can't say your own project. So if it wasn't WAGMI, who would you be pumping?
For NFT collections, I would say Big Time.
Nice. Yeah.
I own a ton of space, ton of forges, ton of armories, ton of hourglasses, ton of skins for my character. I mean, I'm very much invested in that game.
So you play more MMOs before this, or you're just into Big Ten?
Oh yeah, no, I played a lot of like RuneScape, Ultima Online growing up. I love RPGs as well. We were talking before this. Super Mario RPG is one of my favorites growing up. I never really got into like World of Warcraft. Just my friends played more RuneScape and Ultima, and then like all these like various servers of those games where you could like do hacks and things like that, right? But yeah, I like playing MMORPGs. What I really like about them is just the group aspect, right? Being able to get into a group, get on Discord, and just kind of chat shit while you're killing a bunch of stuff mindlessly. Not always. I mean, you can get wrecked in Big Time pretty fast if you're not keeping up with what's going on around you. But I like grindy games. It's how I disconnect from the world.
Yeah, very much so. The same. For some reason, me and a couple other people like myself would even solo it sometimes. They don't even care because it is a group thing. And for some reason, I don't know if it's like a bipolar part of me, but sometimes I want to solo, and I'll just grind the shit out of portals by myself or dungeons, what have you. And then sometimes I will want to play unless I've got a full group of 6.
Well, like I've noticed recently, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I mean, like I was soloing some dungeons yesterday and today that were exactly my levels. Like I'm level 24, so I'm like doing 23 to 25, and I'm getting like 600, 700 XP off of some of these things that I'm killing. And unfortunately, unless you're with a crew and you're all in that same tight range, the XP that you get per dungeon just gets kind of throttled, right? So if I'm gonna do prestige portals with my hourglasses on, then I'll try to find a crew that's kind of within like a 5 to 6 level range. But if I'm trying to level up my guy, if I can't find people that are exactly my level or like 1 or 2 away, I think it's actually almost better to just solo a dungeon because you're gonna get a lot more XP.
I think for like rare item drops, I think I've experienced with the full party, and I look for with the guild members that are just cracked at gaming. They're on a high level, like the 30 plus, and I say, hey, can you carry me?
Yeah.
And I'll go and I get some legendary, and I even pulled a mythic pocket watch the other day, and
Nice.
I think I got good
that you
stuff.
can't use for like a year because you got to level up.
Right. I need to wait a couple of weeks to level up, but you get some good stuff and you just throw it in your metaverse and let it rot for a few weeks. But now
Yeah,
I think I
exactly.
got to 25 over the weekend, and I'm 26 now, and I got some pretty good gear on until and I've already hoarded a bunch of stuff for 30. But yeah, I think in a group it is better. But if you want to level, I still think like 2 or 3. If you have about 2 or 3, I want to say you do get less, but it's like double the enemies. And so I'm a Shadow Blade, so like I said, I die all the time. So I kind of need a Time Warrior and
Yeah, I
Resident
guess
Healer.
that's the difference. Is I can do dungeons on my own because as long as I have enough heal potions, I can do all the damage, heal, barbarian shout, stun everybody. Like I can run away.
Yeah, I'm more of like an assassin. I got to get behind him and use a assassin move, and it does a ton of damage. And like I said, I got that double-handed axe, and I just chop wood, and I'm doing more damage than the Time Warriors. I just can't stay alive long, and if I get surrounded, I'm done. I'm a goner, so I can't.
And it goes
I can't.
fast sometimes, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think just last night I was playing, and we had a full party, 5 or 6, and we got surrounded. We just were running through to get to the objective. but all the monsters were following us the entire way. So they kind of just sandwiched us, and just we got surrounded, and we couldn't go nowhere, and we all died in 2
Oh
seconds.
no.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what happens though, man. They come up quick.
yeah. And you don't even know that they're following you. You can only see your party members, right, on the little mini map.
Yeah. Well, if you push M, it pulls up the whole map.
Not for me. I had to press control, so I don't know if I have it set up differently or what.
It's possible.
But some people say press M, it brings up the map, and I'm like, control works for me, but left control. But
Gotcha.
did you want to bring up anything else? You want to tell us about how your mint went? I know everyone's asking you about it, and you were decreasing the supply, and it's supposed to be deflationary and all that good stuff. You want to kind of go into that before we start wrapping up? I'm curious because, like I said, I didn't mint a founders pack. I hardly knew any. I heard of you guys. You guys are huge, but I think it kind of goes back to ETH because I started on ETH and I didn't like ETH, and same thing Seuss is this gas fees and all that good stuff. That's why I want to bring up Near Protocol. That doesn't exist. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense if how do you say, when you launch something and it's nascent, right? So, but anyways, you want to tell us about what you guys are doing, how it went down, and what you guys are doing now, and your opening of the packs and all that good. Tell us about the founders packs. Basically.
Yeah. So it was really important to us to launch a beautiful collection of the cards. Like, they're going to be the OGs, right? This is going to be a one-time only thing. Again, we're a free-to-play game. But if you want to purchase a founders pack and get these like nostalgic variants of the cards that will only ever be available through beta and soft launch, that's what these are for, right? It's to have that very special, beautiful collection that a year or two from now, when you're flexing your deck and everybody else just has season like 2 and 3 cards, but you have Founders Edition, it's a flex. It's cool. And so for these cards, it was the first time integrating the new art of the characters as well. So if you go and look at the generals and the commanders for the aliens and the humans, it's all the new characters. So the artwork right now shows the new characters. It's just the in-game character is still the old variant until we finish modeling them and dropping them all in, which is going to be great catalysts over the course of the next few weeks, right? Like, hey, brand new character dropped in. Go check it out. Go play. So the goal was we wanted to do a ton of packs. We wanted to do 10,000 packs, and we wanted to keep the soft launch open. We wanted to do 10,000 packs, and the goal was to mint out like over the time it took to go through soft launch and get ready for global. But unfortunately, this is Web3, and most people thought that we were trying to mint out 10,000 packs in a week, and there was some FUD that circulated around that, calling it like a collection that had too many packs. And we did Medium articles, we did WAGMI Wednesday Twitter Spaces every single week, talking about the packs, talking about why we're doing it, because we want to give people an opportunity to get founders packs, collect the cards, but also right now we're in closed beta. So the thought process was, once we kind of open the doors to the rest of the world to start coming in, they might want a founders pack. So we wanted to have a big collection. Well, the community spoke, and they didn't like the collection being so big. So we reduced it from 10,000 down to 3,000. And we're a double deflationary collection. So when you purchase the pack on OpenSea, it's like getting a pack of cards that's closed. Then when you open the pack on our website and the cards all go into your game, the pack is burned. So over time, theoretically, the OpenSea collection could go all the way down to 0 as people are opening their packs. But you and I both know people are going to hold on to at least probably 1 or maybe 2, speculating an unopened pack might be worth something in the future, which is the fun of collecting, which is what we were focusing on when we did this collection. We made it double deflationary so that people could kind of get that nostalgia of, what do I have? I'm going to open this pack and see what I get. And because every pack contains all 32 cards, again, our game is free to play, but when you first start playing, you have to collect the characters as you're playing. If you want to start with all the cards and be able to make whatever deck you want based on any strategy you want to use, it's worth getting a founders pack, because from the beginning, you can use those cards and play them in game. Now, the founders packs also have different rarities. So you have a chance of getting 1 to an entire pack of 32 legendaries when you open these up. And we've seen people get 1, we've seen people get 10, we've seen people get 20, and then somebody yesterday actually opened a pack and got all 32 legendaries. Once the cards are in the game, there is a mechanic in the game where if you collect 5 of the same variant, you can burn it to create the next one. So if you have 5 rares and you burn them, you can create an epic, and then 5 epics create a legendary. And the reason why we did that was, as we discussed earlier, there's a little bit of a buff to the character stats as you increase the variance. But what that's doing, and we're seeing it now on Immutable, and we're seeing it in our Discord and our Telegram, people aren't even really like selling and buying from each other. They are, but there's a lot of trading going on, which is something that I was always interested in, right? Like when I was growing up playing Magic, I wasn't buying cards off my friends. It was like, hey, I'll trade you these 2 for that one, and vice versa. And so we're seeing a lot of trading happening and people getting excited because, the pack contains 32 cards, but it's 1 of each character. So if you have, if you open 4 packs and you get 4 rares of, let's say, the Human Emperor, and you need 1 more to make it a legendary, well, what are you willing to give away to get that card? So you're seeing a lot of that. And that's where the second deflationary mechanism is, because as soon as you burn those cards, they're gone forever. So because there's only 3,000 packs, there's a finite number of rare, epic, and legendary variants of these founders cards. So obviously the goal for most people is going to be able to make a complete deck of legendaries, but who's to say the legendary variants will be worth the most? What if once the dust settles, the rares or the epics might be worth more because, number one, maybe, your favorite character is Leviathan and you want to have a legendary rare and epic variant of that character. You want to have all 3, right? For collectability. Or maybe the legendary Leviathan is the only one I'm missing, but I need 1 more epic to create one on my own. So now I got to buy an epic from you. And if there's not a lot left, you can set the price. And so it's going to be interesting to see what the secondary market's going to do with this type of collectability that we've added to the game. And that's all dictated by the players. It's not dictated by us, which makes it even more cool. We get to kind of see it unfold, right? We get to see that excitement kind of build upon itself.
Right, the supply and demand. It's the player economy. They bring that all together, and you get to sit there and watch it all happen. And I think that when that happens and it's at a high volume, it's very interesting to see how that happened, like you said, with the epic and other cards of lower rarity, and become rare. And then the supply and demand is like, hey, I just need a rare, an epic, and there's hardly any of them. It's interesting to see. And so that's what didn't make sense to me, is that, like we talked about before, your YouTube, you have a bunch of followers and you're not hiding from anybody, and you've been around, and you guys got all these nice creds going on, and Web3 being Web3 had to say what they had to say, and it's amazing. Do you think that it'd be a little bit different had this been in the bull market?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It would have. I mean, the first collection we did, they were actually a little more expensive. The Genesis NFTs, there was 3,022 of them. They minted out in a week. They were going fast, like really fast. But it was the bull market. And so there was some factors that came into play, being that we're in a bear, but also a lot of people, I mean, they didn't take the time to learn about the collection. They just saw mint price, how many we were selling, did a calculation, and they were like, this is a cash grab, right? And I got that feedback a lot from some gamers in Web3, and I actually went on a bunch of Twitter spaces. I worked with Addis. I worked with Raiden. I did some interviews with them. They were posting the content and gave me an opportunity to explain the thought process behind the collection. And the response has always been the same. Oh, okay, that makes sense. You guys are trying to have these packs available throughout closed beta, soft launch. It's double deflationary. Okay, that makes sense. And I'm like, well, we put it in the Medium article. Like, it's right there. All you have to do is click the link. In fact, on the Mint page, it explains it all, right? But nobody scrolls down.
Nobody reads. Literally, you're gonna have to make video content, and I think what the content creators do best is tell it from their perspective. Because, like, you said it yourself, you'll deal with people who don't have that many followers, but to that little bit of amount of people, and then it's word of mouth to all their friends, whatever Discords they're in, whatever alpha servers they're in, and stuff like that. It just spreads like wildfire. And if nobody knew about it, and if you put it in the Medium article or the white paper the entire time, Web3 can't fucking read. They cannot read. And I say that is because, they don't. We don't. Sometimes, even Seuss, we had a conversation about this a few months back when we first started the pod. I think it was the first episode we did a few months ago. And when it comes to like gaming and stuff, like I've messed with gaming for the past couple of years, especially on Web3. And when someone wants to just invest and they'll ask me, hey, Billy, what is this game about? Da, 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 and I'll tell them a little bit about it. And they say, oh, cool. Where can I do this? What are they doing? What is it? And they start rolling in with questions. And I'm just like, dude, I read the white paper. It's in the white paper. Go read the white paper, because you don't want to give financial advice, even if it's your friends. Sometimes you're like, you sit there and tell them what you think or feel, and then they'll go and do something and invest, and then just say, hey, man, you wrecked me. Da, da, da. I was like, no. It's not, So a lot lately, I'll be like, hey, go read the white paper. Go read the white paper. I don't care. I'll tell you like a summary real fast of what you want to know. But if you really want to know, go read the white paper. The information is there. Because sometimes, like, when I read a white paper, sometimes I still want to ask questions. It's kind of why we started doing Twitter Spaces and now podcasts, is I can ask directly to you. And from what I saw from Addis's interview with you is, like you just said right now, all the info is right in front of your face. You just didn't look at it. So, we're not hiding. It's not, a pump and dump. You've been out in the open the entire time, basically docs, you guys, it's what I didn't understand and why I was excited to talk to you today. But yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy how Web3 works and how the bear and the bull differentiates. Because, man, a couple of years ago, I was seeing PFPs like on Solana and ETH, zero utility, with a nice cartoon roadmap. It was interactive or something. Sells out 10,000 easy in an hour or two. And I'm just like, oh my god. Now,
Oh, yeah.
they're gone. Nowhere to be heard of anything. And they made money. And they're gone. So people who are still here and then get that FUD. So it's interesting. So, yeah.
Hey, man, building in the bear. That's what it's all about. And you know what? And that it was, as much as it sucked to have that pushback, what it did allow us to do, and allowed me, being one of the very visible faces of WAGMI, it allowed me to show the community that we do listen, and that we take feedback, and that, like, we don't get mad. We just like, oh, okay, there's some miscommunication. Let's just go out there and, fix the problem. And that's what we did. And I think, if anything, we actually earned a lot of trust and respect from a lot of the creators in Web3 that were a little skeptical on the collection and the game. But then once they understood what we were doing, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's actually really cool.
It makes more sense, right? And whoever did ape in, I bet they're loving it too, because now it's a lower supply, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there's only 52% minted. I think the rest is going to start to go really quick. In fact, a lot of creators are posting their content of them opening their packs. I'm going to be giving away one of my legendary Founders Edition cards on stream tomorrow to kick off my first stream on Kick, which is going to be great. So we're always trying to do fun and exciting things.
And let me post your QR code before I quickly show myself. So where are we looking at? Your Twitter, your YouTube channel? Where are you streaming? I mean, I know you don't have a Kick yet, but where are we going? Is it?
It's going to be on the WAGMI Games YouTube channel.
I don't have that handy.
Yeah, just YouTube,
Yeah.
WAGMI Games. Yeah.
Yeah, just search it. We are nerds. We'll find it if we want it. But real quick, before we go, we've been here for an hour and a half. Yeah, this is long enough. I don't want to keep you here any longer than you have to be. You got to go do WAGMI stuff and do what you do best. But let me quickly shill here my NFT, which is also for free, which I made in a Sprite. We are all vetted gamers here, and we can appreciate the pixel art. I made this myself, and this is my first attempt to make something animated. So if you guys want to
That looks
scan
great.
this, yeah, you'll get a free NFT. It is on Near Protocol, which not many know. The problem with the Near Protocol was that if you wanted to send something to somebody, you have to create the wallet. Not only do you have to create the wallet, but you have to fund the wallet in order to activate it. With Shard Dog technology, it will create the wallet for you. It's kind of like a custodial, like you go and claim it, and then it will drop you like I think it's a penny. You just need like a penny to fund it. But if we didn't have Shard Dog in the past in the beginning of time, so you'd have to go create your wallet on wallet.near.org, whatever the website was, and you'd have to go to your exchange and send it Near, buy Near, then send it. There's fees with the exchanges and all that. So nobody wanted to do it. It was friction. So now with this is you scan this, you'll get my NFT dropped to you for free, and it will fund the wallet, activate it. You're ready to go on Near. So anybody watching this now or watches this later, you can scan this QR code and you'll be welcome to Near Protocol, and you'll get this awesome pixelated art that I created myself. Scott, you want to talk about anything else and close it up before we go, or shill anything?
I would just say, if you're new to WAGMI, go to our official Twitter page, WAGMI Game Co. We have a link tree there with all the official links. That way you guys don't get lost. You don't join the wrong Telegram, the wrong Discord. And of course, you can always follow me on Twitter, Scott_Herman, and reach out to me directly if you have any questions. And it was a pleasure meeting all of you.
Great. Yeah, thanks for coming on. I love it when humbled creators, founders come on and talk to us. I love it, and especially that you're a gamer. You got to stop by game night. We can do it a little bit earlier than usual with the catalysts. Wardens are probably gonna hop on. I don't know who else you want to be involved with in gaming, other than like the bigger ones that have been around or marketing, and I'm not interested in like YGG and all those bigger gaming guilds, because it just seems like they're marketers, you know what I mean? But at the same time, there are a ton of gamers. But anyways, yeah. So the new and upcoming Web3 guilds, come and play with us. And anyone watching, come play with us. You're going to get wrecked in Farlight or whatever game you want to play. But plenty of us playing a ton of games. And, I'm not the sweatiest of gamer, but sometimes, I am MVP, Seuss. Sometimes I am MVP. I know you're listening. It's late for Seuss. It's probably like nearly 2 a.m. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
I am here, man, and you're not MVP.
I
I'm
knew you were
always
gonna come up.
MVP. You never
okay.
was
I gotta-
MVP except once or
I have to go
twice.
pick up my puppy. He had a vet appointment today, so it's all good.
Yeah, sorry. I have been a bit quiet at the end here, but I am on overlap, so I am as well in a Twitter space right now. But I have been listening, guys, as well to you. So yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening to everything. But yeah, speaking of MVP, you're MVP in your own league, man. I'll give you that. I'm MVP in my own league, so yeah, go. I'll give you this one, man.
It was not only just once. It was the one time I recorded it and got to shit talk you. So, but yeah, thanks for the carry. Thanks, Scott, for coming on. You're awesome, and I'm gonna go try out the game. I haven't got a chance to go try it out, and I look forward to it. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Hell yeah. See you guys.
See ya, man. Thank you for coming up.